How do you know how much money you do have to spend on fun? That is what we are talking about today, the fourth part in our guilt free impulse spending series. So here we go. Welcome back to the Your Money, Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Aimee Cerka. We are finally getting to talk about how to know how much money you have to spend on fun. The fourth part in our guilt free impulse spending series. We are making it. Yay. Let's quickly recap what we talked about the first couple days. If you haven't watched/listened to those yet, though, I highly encourage you pause this one and go back and listen to that. I'll make sure links are in the show notes yet again, because again, foundational, like Karate Kid, wax on, wax off type thing. Okay. But day one, we talked about what is impulse spending and the reasons why we do that, which are all based in emotions, money mindset, those triggers, those stories, they're all there. Day two, we talked about what we had to stop doing when it comes to impulse spending. And essentially, that was we had to stop haphazardly impulse spending. We have to have tools in place. We have to stop spending without a budget, looking at a bank account and saying, oh, we're fine. That's not how it works. And if you were like, oh crap, I'm doing that, today is going to be super, super helpful for you. Okay. And then the third episode, we talked about the 24-hour rule and the two main types of impulse spenders, the big ticket impulse spenders, and then the nickel and dime impulse spenders, which brings us to our fourth part here. We get to talk about your play account. And I love talking about the play account because it's game changing. It saves marriages, it saves like finances, all the things. Okay. Before we can get into the tactical, like how to of your play account, let's just kind of take a step back because your play account is part of your budget. Okay. And for a lot of people, or I'll hear this all the time, budget's a bad word, budget's a four-letter word, we don't talk about it. And a lot of those stories, those beliefs come from the fact that we feel like budgeting is meant to limit you. Maybe that's something you saw growing up, again, from your parents. We talked about that on day one. Maybe it's something else you saw from earlier on in your life experiences, right? But that is not the point of the budget. The budget is not to limit you. It's setting the intention of where you want your money to go. And with the play account, we want money to be able to have fun and spend on. So how does that work? Right? The reason why the play account is so important though is because we do have to impulse spend. We have to create that positive money association. We have to enjoy the process along the way. This is my big thing with like no spend challenges. We can get into the mindset of like how you yo-yo finance when you do all those things. But yes, you're working to improve, but if you realize that you can enjoy the process along the way, that there's nowhere to quote get to, you're going to be a heck of a lot happier in life. And that's something that we talk a lot about. We're going to get a little bit into that next time on the fifth part of this series. But we have to create that positive money association. We just need to do it the right way. But it goes back to we're focusing on what we want. Just like we don't focus on the negative with the debt payoff, we switch that we focus on the net worth. We're focusing on the things that we want to do more of. We're just doing it in a smart manner. All right, tactical how-tos. What the heck is the play account? How does this work? Now, if you've been listening for a while, you probably heard. If not, I completely recommend percentage-based budgeting for both your personal budget and your business budget. Profit First is a very popular percentage-based budgeting for the business side. I don't really recommend Profit First because it's too complicated for most people that I talk to, but that's a story for another day. Anyways, percentage-based budgeting. I will include links for my two budgeting systems, Budgeting Simplified on the personal side and Prosperity Simplified on the business side. If you get Prosperity Simplified, Budgeting Simplified comes as a bonus because as an entrepreneur, you need to focus on both personal and business budgeting. Okay, links will be in the show notes if you want to check that out. Regardless, percentage-based budgeting. And why is percentage-based budgeting so golden? Okay, solves the problem of inconsistent income. I was married to somebody in the trucking industry. He was paid by the mile for the longest time, percentage of a load. Like it's very inconsistent income. And then, of course, I'm an entrepreneur. That's a little bit of inconsistent income. But even when I was working in insurance, we were salary plus commission, inconsistent income. When your income fluctuates, percentage-based budgeting is even more vital. But regardless, if you are somebody whose income somehow does not fluctuate, because I think most of us have this, percentage-based budgeting is golden because it's designed to scale with you. So hopefully your income's growing. That's the goal that we have, right? And we're going to talk more about that next time in the next part of the series. But as your income grows, so do your percentage, so do your percentages. So you're prioritizing all the things that you want to prioritize in a systemized, scalable way. So brief overview, we have 8-ish categories. We talk about this inside Money Mastery Academy, but you can take and leave some of these categories, but these are the main ones, okay? We've got fixed necessities. These are like your bills, rent, mortgage, electricity, phone bill, internet, those things, insurance that don't really change. They stay pretty consistent. Now, I know our electricity bills fluctuate a little bit, but that's still a fixed necessity. Then we have varied necessities. That's groceries, gas, household stuff. This can be pet, depending on how much you're spending. We're not really going to be able to get into the differences with varied necessities, annual expenses, but those are your varied necessities. Then we have your giving. This can be like cost of goods sold done through your business. Hopefully, 10 cents on every dollar that's given into the company here goes to fight against child sex trafficking with Operation Underground Railroad. Maybe you're giving a tithe to your church, whatever that might be, giving category. We have savings. Category I added a couple years ago was health because I wanted to see what we were spending specifically on our health. We do a lot of natural things, supplements, etc. Wanted to see those specific numbers. Then you have financial freedom account. Your financial freedom account is not used for businesses that you are actively involved in. This is for passive income streams. So this business here is not funded by my financial freedom account because I'm still active in this business. Okay. Education. Education is used for you. So if you are still funding your business from your personal finances, this is where it comes from, the education category. This also can be used for personal development, professional development, if you want to go back to school, any of those things. And the goal of the education category is to continue to improve you because if something happens and you lost it all tomorrow, what you know is the part they can't take away from you, right? All right. And then finally, the play account. So there's 8 categories depending on what you take and choose. You could eliminate some of those if you wanted to. Get the play account. That's what we're here to talk about. So you have those main categories. And what that does is when you get your paycheck, you have, and we talk about how to set this all up, Money Mastery Academy or the standalone courses. You have the check and you have to calculate the percentages. There's a system, software, all those things. Okay. And then it gives you the amount that's designated for the play account. Okay. So within the play account, that's where you have the blow money accounts. His money to blow, her money to blow if you are married. We can do this. There's a couple ways like to set this up, like true separate accounts. Okay. But you have 2 funds there, right? Your money, that's like where you get your money to do whatever the heck you want with, as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical. This is what you get to impulse spend. You also can include within the play account, fun money, dining out as a family, those things. But all of that money there, it's based off the percentage, and then you have that to spend. You can put this you can pull it out in cash. If you'd rather have cash for your blow money accounts, you can leave it in the account. You can put it in a separate account. Maybe I'll do a separate pro step on a simplified version of that here next episode. Let me know if that would be helpful. But when you have that in the account, you can go do whatever you want at the convenience store or buy the big ticket item if you've waited the 24 hours when you have the money in the fund. It's obvious to see that freedom that you have to go spend and have good boundaries. This is so key and there's so much power in it. So a couple years ago, I was getting ready to do a date night with my husband. We had that set up and we had tried, I had like a goal at the time, we were going to do more consistent date nights, all those things. And it was like, okay, hey, we were going to get to go out. Hey, babe, like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And he was like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know what we have to spend, any of those things. So I pulled up the play account and took a screenshot. And we had over $600 specifically in the play account. Now, granted, I think we had done like less fun stuff a little bit before. So there was some month rollover. I know that is a term you might not necessarily know. Again, that comes from the budgeting, but there had been a little bit that had built up. But we had $600 to go do whatever the heck we wanted to for our, like, a date night. Granted, I don't think we really spent any of it, maybe like dinner, and that was about it. But we had that option because we had put these things in place and we stuck with it. That's the key. We're going to get into that more next time on like how you do that portion of it. But you have to stick with it. You have to be consistent. And I know it can be hard, especially setting up the system that like in between paychecks, the account can dip a little lower. And we've got strategies to help with that, like to overcome those obstacles and put those things in place. But the key was like we stuck with it consistently. So then we were able to have that money to spend on fun. All right. So that's your play account. It's your fun specifically to go spend money. And it works when you set up the percentage-based budgeting and you have that there. It's a designated space for you to go have fun with your money. So if you're a spender, you're doing that within the boundaries. And if you're a saver, you have the money there to see like this is something to go have fun with. We need to create that positive money association. You have to do that portion. Okay. All right. That's your play account. Fourth part on our guilt-free impulse spending. I'll record a special like pro step simplified version of this, so make sure to watch for that. We have almost made it through our guilt-free impulse spending series. I don't know that you have an action step today. Send me a message and let me know on Instagram what your biggest takeaway has been so far from this series. We'll see you next time. Bye for now. If you're struggling with shame and guilt around your finances, whether it's debt, impulse spending, mistakes from the past, or the fact that you still haven't hit your income goal, then it's time for you to work with me. There are different levels of support and price points that you can use on the path to removing that guilt and shame so you can step into your unstoppable life. After all, your finances are unique to you, and your support should be too. Go to workwithaimee.com to get started with one of my most popular programs, or you can book a Q&A call with me and we'll figure out what that next step should be. And those links are hanging out in the description of this video as well.